OK, the Daily Mail has reported today that Home Secretary Alan Johnson has announced a major review of the way that the police store details of criminal convictions. Less serious offences like theft and criminal damage could be wiped from the national computer altogether. The idea being to safeguard against people who maybe had a minor blip when they were younger being stopped from getting certain jobs or places on college courses later in life if they've turned over a new leaf. The police are expected to oppose such a move as they argue that even the most minor offences on someone's record could prove vital in profiling criminals at a later date for more serious crimes. So what do we think? Should minor offences be wiped from the record?
I've got to say, you know, there's a lot of kids when they're younger who have peer pressure to go in and nick, you know, a bubble gum, you know, from a sweet shop or a CD, and I'm not saying any of that's right, but you have that moment of madness, say. I didn't, can I just say that? But they do have that moment of madness, and for them, at maybe 7 or 8 years old, to still have a criminal record when they're in their 30s going for a job, especially if it doesn't say what it's a criminal record for, just theft,
right,
you know, could in fact harm their life. But I do think it should be a bit like a driving licence, where it stays on your licence for like 5 years.
Right.
And then as long as you stay clean and everything's fine and you
no
don't do it
repeat
again
offence.
and there's no repeat offence, then it goes. However, obviously, if it's continued theft or criminal damage, then it has to stay on forever because it's obviously in their psyche and they are going to be criminals by the sound of it. But for those young ones that just get in the wrong crowd and have that moment of madness, make one mistake, I don't think they should have to pay for it for the rest of their lives, because I think just being brought home by the police to your mum and dad would be scary enough to stop you doing it.
And I would think if you did have one very silly mistake and it did sort of infringe on what you were able to do in turning over a new leaf, if nobody's going to employ you, if you can't go to college to kind of better yourself, then it's more likely to force you into a life of crime, I would have thought.
Do you not think, though, that a young kid pinching a piece of bubble gum is usually cautioned? That doesn't usually get to police. When the police are involved, it's usually quite a big theft.
No, but shoplifting, they're normally involved, even if it's just a CD, and the shop captain will get the police in.
But they don't usually prosecute if it's something very minor. There's usually a warning system that the police do before they actually put it down on a record.
Yeah, you get a caution for murder these days.
Yeah, that's true. Or snogging in a playground. But saying that, if it's once, I can totally understand how it should be wiped. But like you say,
if it carries on,
then no, it can't be wiped, because then it doesn't stand up in court. They've got nothing to fall back on, you know. And I just think it's very wrong. I think the police have got had enough job as it is, and we should be supporting the police to help criminals and not keep letting people off all the time. It is wrong to steal, and that's it.
What I don't understand about this, first of all, is that they're willing to erase a lot of guilty criminals' past records, but they won't erase or get rid of the DNA from people who have never committed any crime, of merely been arrested and let off. So, you know, there's a bit of an anomaly there, which I find, frankly,
well, the police
really
are opposing this, aren't they?
The police are opposing it, yeah, but this is coming from the Home Secretary, and that's, you know, ultimately, that's who they answer to. And in a way, I think the police are, sometimes I think they're discretionary. They certainly used to be, because actually, believe it or not, I did get caught shoplifting when I was younger.
No, you did?
Yes, I did. It wasn't big and it wasn't clever, but, you know, like Coleen said, then the police just used to, there was great shame in that sort of thing then. So that stopped you from doing it. The police would come round and they would scare you into never doing it again, just simply because, you know, your parents would be so disappointed. Now, I don't really know how the police operate anymore, because, you know, it does seem to me that people are getting criminal records for the most petty of things, and yet you do hear a lot of the time of people, you know, mugging, burglars, people like that, doing serious crime, getting a caution.
Is that true?
So yes, it is absolutely true. Yes, it is. And I know that for a fact, because I was mugged and I know what happened. So, you know, I find...
But going back to that, say you had a criminal record, say you had one policeman who said, no, she stole that, and we've got to put it on a criminal record, that would still be on your record now.
Yeah, but if my criminal record went back to when that was, which would be, you know, nearly 40 years ago, I would think, you know, employers also have discretion. You know, if I was an employer and someone had come into me and they'd maybe, you know, nicked a roll of sellotape from Woolworths back in 1970, I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't think, oh, potential thief.
But saying that,
raising it just makes a complete mockery of the whole system.
But I would like to know where there is a deterrent. There's no deterrent. If you say, no, you'll have no record now, the kids are going to go in and go rife. So we need some kind of deterrent. This
Well, of course there is.
where
There is.
what deterrent? If you're going to get it wiped, then what's the point?
I don't think they're on about getting it wiped if it's an ongoing thing. I don't think they're going to keep saying to the same guy that they kept burgling number 26, don't worry, you won't have a criminal record because we've wiped them. I think with them, there would be obviously consequences to pay. I think what they're trying to do is for people who've made that one mistake and are finding it hard to carry on like 30 years down the line because they've still got this criminal record.
Yep. Well, don't forget